Hello everyone. Today is, I was going to say Tuesday. I'm getting my days mixed up because of the bank holiday, but it's Wednesday today, second day of the week this week. Today we've got on a little tour at iGo. This is a self-diagnosed by the customer for their knocking noise. We've got two little anti-roll bar links to change. Oh, a bit out of breath. Yeah, two little anti-roll bar links to change. So he bought this car about 6 months ago with a knocking noise, took it back to the garage he bought it from. They've changed various parts, can't find the knocking noise, and they say, like, look, don't know what to do with it. Go to a garage, get them to diagnose it, fix it, and we'll pay. So this garage has fitted a shock absorber, spring, top mount, said it's all good. Customer got it back and it's still exactly the same. So he thinks it's the anti-roll bar drop links, because that's what he's looked up online, and he took photos, sent them to me, and yeah, they do look a bit nasty. But we're going to swap them out, take it for a drive, and then see what we think. He doesn't want us to diagnose it, but I'm going to have a look anyway. So it's just the car in question. You can see brand new shock absorber. Looks like an old spring, to be fair. I don't think they've replaced the spring. So a new shock absorber. Tyler's got a new top mount. And straight away, jacking this up, there's play in the wheel. Quite a lot of play. I'm not sure what's going on in here, but it's had a new gator on the track rod. It looks like it has a new track rod. But there's a serious amount of play in that inner track rod. Look at that. That's me just moving the wheel backwards and forwards. That will be a knocking noise. So it looks like it's had a new shock absorber for no reason. I'm not sure what's happened. They've either not tightened up the inner tie rod, track rod, whatever you want to call it. So I've not been tightened up and it's loose, or the new part they fitted has failed. But yeah, that's dangerous, so I'm going to recommend the car's not driven any further until that's sorted out. But we'll carry on replacing these. This side looks like it's been replaced at some point, probably along with the shock absorber, to try and fix the knocking noise. The customer wants them both changed. That's the other side. That side's quite nasty. This side, not much wrong with it. We're going to change them in pairs anyway. So I've got to undo this side anyway because I'm replacing it. And while I'm in here, I just thought I'd just check, see if there's any play in this wheel. Loads of play. And that is in the track front end, that side. That would fail an MOT, so that needs replacing ASAP. How a garage can fail to spot that at the other side is just outrageous. So I'm going to try and protect this rubber boot. Just nothing to grip onto. got that moving. And it comes undone, slowly but surely. So that's that one out. This is the new one going back in. We go, one side done. There's all the old parts. Then that's the other side. Make sure I pick all the old parts up the driveway. So today we're fitting a Road Angel Halo Pro to a Clio RS. Do loads of these dash cameras. So this is a front and rear camera, 3-year warranty, fully fitted by us, hardwired, SD card. That's the front camera, that's the rear, nice and small, 24-hour parking mode, and we're going to stick it into this. So this has already had fitted to it a camera that I didn't know that was fitted already. It's got a ThinkWare camera, doesn't work apparently, so I'm going to have to remove all of that first before we fit our camera. So fuse box is in here. I don't know why it doesn't work, because they're quite good cameras. ThinkWare, used to fit them. I mean, the wiring doesn't look too bad, to be fair. So yeah, we'll pull that out. So just taking out the wire that someone's put to the rear. They've not done a bad job, to be fair. I'm pretty sure she said there was a daughter that's fitted it. I mean, all the trim's a bit buggered back here, and the wire goes over the seat belt, which is a bit of a no-no, but pull that out. Hopefully the trim will go back to how it was. Yeah, go back to the old shape. But yeah, on these, the fuse box is on the front left. That will have all the powers you need. The switch live, main live. Oh, hello kitty. And the earth and the wiring will go over, the same as someone else has put here, to the back for the rear camera. It's a pretty good, easy setup on these. So this is their rear wire, which goes through here, which is the one I would chose, to be fair, because that one's got a lot of wire in there, and it's obvious because they've lifted out the bung there and scratched the car. So that's fine. We'll pull that out, get the wiring through. So most of this is out now. Now, one of the things I found out, so these are what we call jumper fuses. I use these, industry standard, all use these. Basically, you'll find your power, you'll pull it out, you'll put the fuse back into this and put this back into the top. I don't know why, but someone's used a 15 amp fuse. That is way too high for a dash camera. I mean, dash cameras pull about 1 to 2 amps. So if there's a problem with the camera, the fuse wouldn't have blown, it would have just melted all the wiring. So this is the rear camera. Now, the good thing with Road Angel, it doesn't matter which way up you fit this. So if it's upside down, you can just change it in the app. Now, these are offset, and I like to fit them that way around, so you can get more of the camera down, more of the mount towards the car, and more of the camera out. And you want the camera to go between these two lines, really, because I'm on the line in the camera. It doesn't always show, but really you want it to try and be between the lines. So that's now mounted on there securely. We've used some degreaser before putting this on, just to clean the windscreen up a bit. And also you can see here is the swept area of the wiper. So the camera is within the swept area, so even if the screen's dirty, you'll still be able to see through the camera. Now we want to get our wiring to attach to this, and it's going to go through one of these two. You're going to choose the one that's got the most slack in it, which is this one. We'll spray some silicone down here, and that'll just slide straight up. So that is our wire through the conduit, which is going to go up here. Now we've got the wire for the camera that we've done a little hole in that, and that's going to poke in there. We'll join them together, tape them up. Just going to put some cloth tape over it, and that's just so, because the wire is running from here to here, we don't want it rattling around inside. And that is our rear camera mounted. These are just 3M clips from Amazon. It's unfortunate that we don't have a bit of trim going across here like we usually do, where it can hide the wire in. Instead of the wire just dropping down and going into here, just fitted these to secure it nicely. I mean, it doesn't look amazing, but that's the only way that we'll get around it. So we've gone through here. Unfortunately, the trim is a bit out of shape from where the last wire was, but the other side is as well, so it might not be because of the wire. When I go through here, I don't like to just tuck it in there, because these usually go up and into the headlining. So I poke it up into the headlining, go across and then back down. So now we come to the front. So we mount the camera where we want it, and ideally you want it so it sits behind the rear view mirror so you can't see it when you're driving. And then the wiring will hide up here, and hide everything else, tape up stuff that we want to tape up, like this connection here, to make sure it doesn't come undone, and then hide the rest of the wiring, and we'll get to the fuse box. So once all the wiring's down, that's how we'd tape it all up in the same as the original tape. So this is the original wiring here, and this is our wiring here, so it matches. So you can't even tell that we've been in here. It's only for a dash cam, it's nothing security related, but it's just nice to just go the extra mile. And we've got a bit of extra cable here, so we just wrap it up in the same sort of tape and just push it into a nice void. And then when we come down, we've got a little magnet here, that's to stop interference. We'll cable tie this all up afterwards. Now we want to find I've got an earth to find, and that will probably go in one of these bolts. We've got a switch live and a permanent live, so we need a permanent live, so parking mode's activated. When we come into the fuse box, so before there was a fuse that was jumped off, and it was a 15 amp fuse. We don't want that. This is someone else's wiring that's in here, some aftermarket wiring for something else. It's just been shoved up in there. A bit annoying, it's right in the way. But I always try and go for something that hasn't got a fuse in. So we'll test this one here. So ignition's off at the moment, so nothing on that side. And we've got 12 volt on that side. So that will be our permanent live. So we'll put a jumper fuse in that, but we don't need to put a another fuse in because there's nothing in here. That's just a spare fuse, so we'll use that. Right, so I decided to go against the original plan for the one down there, just because we've got this that goes up and down, and it'll hit it. So I've got a fuse here. The top one is a permanent live, and the bottom one is a switch live. So that's our two that are here. Again, this wiring that someone's added, absolutely shoddy. So annoying why I didn't cable tie it up. It's just right in the way of the fuse boxes. But yeah, anyway, we'll get our earth, we'll get these wiring put onto here, and hopefully we'll be up and running. So we are now done. So yeah, we can move this crappy wiring out of the way, it's really annoying. This is our wiring here, not this one with a tape on it, but this one here. So that is going to get pushed right up there, and we've left enough slack on it, so if you've ever got to take the fuses out, you can still pull them out nice and easy, if you can ever get past all this rubbish. But yeah, so our wiring goes from here, vroom, straight up. Camera's nicely installed, the one on the back, It's all done. We've just got to set the app up now, show the customer how it all works. Job done. So this car here, I did discs and pads all round on it last week, and the guys decided he wants to book it in for a major service and to get some bushes replaced on the front, because I've noticed when I did a health check that the bushes are absolutely knackered. It's actually pulled out with the wishbone, so we've got 2 new wishbones on their way, because it's cheaper just to cut wishbones on than it is to remove the wishbones, press out the bushes, etc. So yeah, already filled up screen wash, just doing a quick levels check. I did all this when I did the health check anyway, but yeah, we've got spark plugs to change, we've got oil to change, we've got air filter to change. So I'll just show you this quickly. Interestingly, you have to remove the whole air box when you do an air filter change on these, because the screws on the other side. And when I turn this over, I noticed that someone's actually left the screws out. Haven't actually done the screws up on the air filter. Weird, but anyway. So it wasn't a main dealer that done it, I can tell, because someone's left their grubby handprints all over it, and it's got a blueprint air filter in it. So someone's done that for some reason, haven't bolted it back up. Could be just a mistake, or the fact that they just don't care what they're doing. So I've got to take the airbox out anyway to gain access to the spark plugs. So we'll just put that gently down there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then one under here, spark plug. So we'll have to remove this. Just clip down the back here, just squeeze that together, pull that out, and then we have good access to the spark plugs. Clips off. Just pull that up out of the way. Now with good access to the spark plugs, what we've got to do is take the 1, 2, 3, 4 plugs off, the 4 10mm, and then pull the coil packs out. So parts have just turned up. So this is what we got. Man parts, these are all OE, original equipment. So when you look at this man filter, same colour as the one that would be fitted originally, and what I'm told is the actual one that comes from the factory. And we've got air filter, sump plug, we've got some very expensive spark plugs, and we've also got a pollen filter to go in, which I'm yet to find in the pile of bits that's been delivered. So we've just got to pull the engine under tray off, and there's T25s, a few of them around, just take the tray off, and that's the under tray off. So we've just got the oil filter there, and we've got the sump plug there. So let that drain out and whip the wheels off. So there's no point checking the brakes, you know, we will anyway, but I fitted this and pads this just last week. So yeah, it's got a nice disc and pads front and back. But yeah, we're going to be changing out these. You can see this one's starting to lift, and the other one, it has lifted. So around to this side, you can see that the bush has lifted out of the arm. So when you go over a bump, this hits the subframe, knocks about, and the whole wheel moves backwards and forwards. So just grab some WD-40, give everything a nice little spray up before I attempt to take it out. So we've got an 18mm nut. So turn the flash here. We've got 18mm nut, 18mm bolt, whizzes that out. This side we've got an 18mm bolt, whizzes that out, and then we've got 3/16s which are undo under here. And literally we just pull the arm out. You can see there the bush, how knackered it is. Yeah, really bad. Pretty common on these. Polos and Fabias, we do absolutely loads of them. These arms, because of these bushes. So there we go, that's the new arm. And let's match it up, make sure it's the right one. Check the bush. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Ready to go on. Now, they can be really hard to get the new wishbone back in because the bush isn't buggered. Like the traits of an old bush, the parts are really easy to remove because the bush just flaps about everywhere Now the bush is nice and tight, it's really hard to get in. So what I do is put this on full extend, so for the left I turn the steering wheel all the way to the right, which gives this enough room to be moved over to get that in nice and straight. So that's that in place. I haven't done the one out here up fully because I want the arm to be on the car on the floor before I torque it up, just so the bush is sat neutral. But yeah, everything else is done up. I've just got to torque it up now and do the other side. So now I've got the bolts out for the problem side. Look, the bush has literally left the chat. Now you can imagine the noise this makes when you're driving. I know how to take the bolt out, but mental. So that's one arm done, two arms done. Just got to run around and torque all the bolts up. Got an oil filter on, just want to clean it all up. Sump plugs on, I want to clean all that up. Yeah, I mean all we've got to do is fill it with oil, change spark plugs, air filter, and tyre pressures. So that's it, these are all torqued up and painted, so we know that we torqued them. Same with that one there, and just got to do the front one when it's on the floor. Same on this side, and same on this side. So now we come to filling up with oil. We've got the correct adapter for Volkswagen. You can see there, VAG, because this is a slow fill engine, so if you try and fill that up with a normal oil jug, it'll just go everywhere and make a mess. So we've got the jug here, and we just pour in the liquid gold. So this one's 0.30. This engine takes 4 litres. So just a word of warning, if you're doing spark plugs on these have a 50% chance of actually coming out. So from factory, they didn't put grease on these and they get stuck in there, and sometimes you can pull on this and this snaps in half, especially like this one where the customer's waiting for it. It will bugger your day up because they never keep these in stock. So yeah, just be a bit careful taking them out, but we'll put a bit of grease on them going back in. And that's the spark plugs out. I presume they are the original ones. No, maybe they're not. I don't see Volkswagen on them. They do look old and manky. Anyway, we've got some nice new ones to go in. Spark plugs all done. Now we've just got to do the air filter. This is nice and easy. Just line up with the holes. Try not to touch it too much to get any grubby fingerprints on it like the last one. Just make sure the rubber seals in. And if you get a nice decent filter like this one, which is a man, the seal fits really nice. Then of course we'll just do these up, which wasn't done up before. Lovely. So when putting this pipe back on, you'll notice around here that this dot lines up with this dot down here, so you know that it's in the right place when you come to put the air filter on. So we've got a Golf R on the ramp today. This is to carry out full service. So we just pulled the oil filter to let it drain down to the sump. Took the engine cover off. And again, while we're in here, we just check the coolant, top up the screen wash, we'll check the brake fluids, and we've got to replace the air filter while we're above. The vehicle's up halfway, and we'll just check the tyre sidewalls. We'll note down the tyre size and just check them all the way around to make sure they're the same on each axle. And we'll also look in if there's any directional arrows or inside or outside, just to make sure. Now we'll just go around, check the tread, make sure there's no screws, no nails, a little bit of damage there. Again, no cord showing, so that's all right. We'll just make the customer aware. Check the inside of the wheel for any cracks, any damage. Suspension, all good. Drive shafts, all good. No leaks in the differential. Suspension's all good. Suspension's all good. Again, and then any stains we just pull out. Underside look at the exhaust. No damage, no leaks. Prop shaft coupling isn't split. That's all in good condition. just have a good look around. Underside of the car, we'll just check the engine to see if there's any oil leaks, gearbox, no leaks. A general check over suspension. We'll check for any play and anything, obviously. Everything on this car looks pretty decent, to be fair. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's well looked after. Good example for Golfer, this one. You can usually tell by the make of tyres if the car's been well looked after. This one's got Continental tyres, so he puts good tyres on it. Just got that oil draining out nicely. Want to get as much of that out as possible. Now I've been for a good run in this because want to get the engine oil nice and hot, so we can get as much out as possible. Got the new oil filter ready to go in. Now I'm going to fill the oil up, so just pull that out, grab that. So we've now run it up, just check the oil filter for leaks. We'll just check the oil level and just look underneath, make sure there's no leaks anywhere. We're just going to go around and just grease all the locks. Before I forget, the only thing you should be using on locks really is PTFE spray. If you speak to a locksmith, that's the only thing they recommend. You don't want to be putting grease anywhere near something like this because rubbish from the road will just go in, clog all that up. The next time you open the bonnet, if you can open it, you won't be able to close it, it'll just keep bouncing. It smells really, really good as well. So just little things like this stop them going rusty. That's the old air filter out. Doesn't look like it's been changed in a while. Possibly the original Volkswagen one. Minging. That's a new one ready to go in. Good make. We don't use Crossland rubbish here like a lot of other garages do. That's in there. Now the service is complete, we're just going to dress all the plastics, make it nice and clean for the customer. There we go, it looks so much nicer. And that is another service completed. So I have just noticed on this car that Formula 1 auto sensors have said that the shock absorber, one of them, had a misting of oil. So I must have missed that for my health check. So just check. Nope, that one's absolutely fine. Driver side rear. Nope, that one is absolutely fine as well. So classic case of trying to upsell work that the vehicle doesn't need. When I saw the MOT, I thought, oh bugger, I've missed something off my health check, which is pretty rare for me. So I thought I'd just have to go outside to the car park and have a quick look. And yeah, nothing wrong with the shock absorbers whatsoever. So they've put it on their MOT advisory that it needs a shock absorber in the hope that the customer will go like, oh yeah, I'll have that done. But it doesn't need doing. So the AMG, we're pretty much done with the brakes, just got to put the pads in this side. Waiting for some bits for it. Some springs and a prop shaft coupling. The lines are all done now. I'm going to do a brake fluid change. And then this one, another Mercedes that we've got in. Just for a service. It's an EV, so there's not much service on these. Pretty much tyre pressures, screen wash. We've got a cabin filter to replace, and we've also got a panoramic sunroof clean and lubricate. And obviously tyre pressures, check suspension, etc. So although this is an EV, electric vehicle, fully electric, it's not hybrid or anything like that, it still has a battery, 12-volt battery that powers like the headlights, the radio, etc. inside. So we'll just check that. and this is saying it's a great battery. State of charge 76%, the health is 100%, so that's a good battery. Put that away for him, and then just have a good look in the what we would call the engine bay, but obviously hasn't got an engine in it. Just have a good look around, check all the high voltage cables. If any damage, check the earths. Coolant level, all good. Brake fluid levels, all good. So part of the service includes a charging system check. So we check the cable just to make sure we've got no damage. Just check the plug, make sure that's all okay. No corrosion in the pins, both ends. We also check what we call the tyre fit. Check the date on it. So July 2026 when that expires, that's all okay. We've got a locking walnut key there, pumps there. Don't know why the locking walnut key's not been put in here. We'll put that back in there for them. Just so they know where it is. So we come round to check the door, closes nicely. They're all nice and secure, no one can break in, get themselves electrocuted, and we also note down the tyre pressures. So 235 5019, 235 5019, the front's 2.7 bar, 40 psi, the rear's a 2.7 bar, 40 psi. Now I don't know if you know what these QR stickers are for, so this is called a rescue card, and if this vehicle was ever involved in an accident, the fire brigade can scan this and they'll know where high voltage points are. If it was a petrol car, the fuel tank, etc. So if they ever need to cut the roof off in an accident, they don't cut through a high voltage cable and electrocute themselves. Obviously if you ever did that, the vehicle would shut down the electrical system anyway, the high voltage circuit. Quite nice inside these. So come down to the pretty much the only part that we change on an electric vehicle, and that is the pollen filter. On these, they're locating under here. I think I'll just pull that down. And then pull that out. All the leaves attached. Doesn't look too bad. It only goes in one way. It's quite easy to tell because there's these little pegs here and line up with the pegs on the door. You'll know when you've got the new one in because it just slides in nicely. And then you just want to grab the door, line it up and chuck it on. So that's that one all polished off now. Just to reset the service indicator. Carried out a pano roof cleaning grease and also done the online service history. So that one's ready to go back to the customer. Another one done. We have a Mercedes-benz A-Class in for some investigation work. Got the vehicle loaded up here now and a full code scan. So I'm told the basics behind this one is it's been, I had a mechanic come out to it to try and diagnose what's wrong with it, but didn't have some tools or something like that to check some what he needed to check. It's also had a DPF specialist come out to clean the DPF, do some other bits and pieces, and basically it was left like that. Engine light's still on. It's got some other faults that are still on, and I'll just run through a couple of things we've got now. So probably can't see in here, but we've got some faults with mass airflow, EGR. We've also got soot content, particulate filters not okay, which is a bit worrying considering the customer's already paid to have a DPF clean. But usually find out with these companies, they just reset the values and then go on their way, and the customer thinks everything's fixed and it's not. So we'll just run through some tests and see where we get. So we've got stored faults with soot content, stored faults. The current fault is this mass airflow, so we're going to look into this fault. So the first thing we're going to do is just check all data for any technical service bulletins relating to these codes, because there could be ones that we could just follow and find out what's wrong with it before even looking into anything. But we're just running some actual value tests at the moment. I can see someone's reset all the ash content, which isn't great. The fill level has obviously been reset because it's only at 15%. And it was last corrected, the ash content, 131,000 miles. And it's done 131,000 miles. But the pressure sensor, which should be under 10 millibar, is 10 millibar. So if the pressure sensor is reading correctly, the DPF isn't blocked up. But I've had it before where someone's reset that and I've tested it manually and it's way over. So we will probably check it manually anyway. So the air mass sensor is this one here. What I'm going to do is just check if there's any leaks between here and the throttle body, because that can give poor readings for this, and it can also cause a DPF to sit up. While I'm in here, I've also noticed he's got a major coolant leak. It's been like that for a long time. And one of the things I checked was the service history online, and the coolant was only replaced 4 months ago. So they've obviously got a nasty leak somewhere. So I'll report that and tell them that that needs looking into, because it's quite bad, it goes everywhere. So that's the machine hooked up for the air intake. Straight away we've got a leak. Can you see that? Where's that coming out of? That is coming out deep down there somewhere. So I need to find out where that is leaking from. So straight away I can see the throttle body down here. Try and zoom this in. You see that thread there? Let's see if we can zoom the camera in. Right there, someone has left a bolt out holding a boost hose. So I've just taken off this hose here just so we can get better access. Yeah, I can see here someone has left a bolt out, so that sandwiches the throttle body between the boost pipe and the inlet. It's pouring oil out of it, and there's a bolt missing. Why the bolt is missing, I don't know. Smoke coming out of there. It looks like it. It's pouring out of there. So we've got a boost leak. So that would explain why we've got a fault with the air mass, because we've got unmetered air going into the engine. Brilliant stuff. I tell you, a lot of these faults that I come across are from other mechanics that have caused the fault. 9 times out of 10, when a customer says to me it's already been somewhere else, I always say to them, can you let me know what they've done? Because otherwise I'll be chasing my tail, because I don't know if the customer the previous mechanic has had that off. So could I just be fixing a fault that he's put in there, and then the fault still be there, the original fault? I don't know. So I need to find out. If they've had that off. But anyway, I'll try and find a bolt for it. It's a long bolt, so probably won't have one. So if you're the mechanic that has worked on this engine and you got a spare bolt, let me have it back.